Hi everyone, Paul Stankista here, candidate for Pennsylvania State Senate. I'm walking along the Three Rivers Heritage Trail right now. It's a bit of a cloudy day, but it's temperate. But I'm not here to give you a weather report. Right now, giant multinational corporations in the oil and gas industry are dumping millions of gallons of highly toxic and radioactive waste directly into our rivers and into the creeks and streams that feed into these rivers that we're so proud of here in Western PA. So today, I want to talk about Pennsylvania's environmental policies and how they are decades out of date and thus woefully inadequate to protect us from the modern practices and technologies of the industries that are polluting our water, our air, and our very bodies. Unfortunately, the career politicians that we've sent to Harrisburg for decades are more interested in doing favors for their campaign donors in the oil and gas lobby than in protecting our health and safety here at home. The last time our state legislature took action to update PA's environmental laws was in 2016 when they passed Act 52, which actually repealed environmental regulations of the oil and gas industry. You heard that correctly. The only time in the past decade that our state leaders have taken action on environmental policy was to remove what little environmental protections we already had. Act 52 removed regulations for how oil and gas corporations dispose of their highly toxic and radioactive waste. I'm going to go into much more detail about that in a later video. Act 52 also entrusted Pennsylvania's environmental policies to an advisory council, a majority of whose members come directly from the oil and gas lobby. This advisory council, called the Pennsylvania Grade Crude Development Advisory Council, gives feedback and recommendations for our state's environmental policies to the PA Department of Environmental Protection. And Act 52 requires that 9 out of the 17 members of this council come from oil and gas corporations. So you can imagine the type of policies that they're pushing. It's like asking kindergartners to come up with the rules for their own school. There's going to be a lot of recess. The incumbent state senator in the 42nd district and my opponent in the Democratic primary this May is Senator Wayne Fontana, and he was one of the only Democrats to vote in favor of Act 52. Senator Fontana and his colleagues in the state Senate have for decades prioritized the profits of giant corporations over the health and safety of our communities and our environment. As your state senator, I will finally take action to protect us and future generations from polluting oil and gas corporations. I will also protect our neighbors who work in the oil and gas industries from the negligence of their own employers. Stay tuned for my next couple of videos where I will go into detail about the specific policies that Pennsylvania must adopt to finally put people over profit. But for now, it's starting to drizzle a bit, and I don't mess with the rain, so I'll see y'all later.